Okay, so let's start with leveling. Firstly, we will discuss about what is leveling. Okay, so as I have already told you at the start of this session, that leveling is basically the computation of difference in elevation between various stations. Okay, so basically two things may be required at a particular field site. First is to find the elevation of various points, okay, either with reference to a particular benchmark point whose elevation is already known to us, and even if it is not known to us, so most of the time what happens, it is required to calculate the elevation of all the other points with reference to a particular benchmark point. We consider particular point from which we are going to start the construction, or which is any rigid point that is not going to change, that we consider as a particular benchmark, and if its elevation with reference to the mean sea level, that we consider as the datum for most of the case. If it is even not known, then what we do, we consider its elevation to be certain thing, means you can consider equal to 50 meter, and with reference to that, if this is 50 meter, you can calculate all the elevation in the field, elevation of all the other stations in the field, so that you can get an idea that with respect to this point, which points are rising and which points are falling. Even you can get the difference in elevation of any other station. Between any two stations you can easily compute once you have got the idea of elevations. Okay, so this is the branch of surveying that basically deals with the computation of difference in elevation, that is vertical distances. Okay, initially we discussed about measurement of horizontal distances using tapes, chains, or electronic distance measurement devices. Then we went through computation of horizontal and vertical angles and the units in which they are described, like whole circle bearing and quadrantal bearing. Now this is leveling. It basically deals with the calculation of difference in elevation of various stations. Okay, or what may be required, that we may be required to establish a certain point at a particular height, okay, at a particular depth. What is happening, suppose it is given to us that yes, we are about to make excavation there. Okay, if this ground surface is at a certain level and we want a point that should be means 50 centimeter downwards, or you can say 0.5 meter below the ground surface, okay, or with reference to that particular point which we have considered as a benchmark. So what we need to do, if this elevation is 50 meter, then we need to establish a point whose elevation should be 49.5 meter. So same technique can be used, that technique which we will be discussing as we will be moving forward with the lecture, that once the elevation of this particular station is known to us, we can easily compute the elevation of any other station whose means the difference between those two stations should be equal to 0.5 meter. Okay, and how this can be done. Okay, so this will be one of the most important part that we will be discussing. And the other important thing that we need to remember is leveling generally deals with all the measurements in a vertical plane. Okay, as I have already told you, since we are doing all the measurements with reference to the elevation, okay, increase in height or decrease in height with reference to a particular benchmark station, so it deals with all the measurements that are being done on a vertical plane. Okay, so that forms the core concept of leveling. Now firstly, before starting with what are the equipments that are required to conduct the leveling exercise, we will firstly discuss few terms that are very much important and their understanding is very much required. Okay, first thing is level surface. Every time we are discussing about leveling, what do we mean by level surface? For that, the first thing that we need to understand that the earth's surface is not exactly horizontal. Okay, it is circular, okay, at the outer end. So what we basically do is, since the level surface is parallel to the surface of the earth, even in the figure also that I have shown, you can see here this level line you are seeing, because we are talking, when we are showing the figure, it is basically a two-dimensional figure. So the surface on the outer periphery of the earth's surface, that surface is known as level surface, and it can be exactly defined where the gravitational force that is acting should be exactly perpendicular to the level surface, because gravitational force is acting from the outer periphery of the earth's surface towards the center. Okay, that will pull the objects downwards. So what is happening, a level surface is defined as that curved surface which at each point is perpendicular to the direction of the gravitational force that is acting at a point, or you can say it is exactly parallel, means it is in that curved surface such that it covers the outer periphery of the earth's surface. Since the earth surface is not horizontal, so the level surface will always be a curved surface And for that, even when we are doing the measurements, as in the upcoming slides you will see what happens when we are doing the leveling exercise, the line of sight that we are considering. Okay, when we are looking at any leveling staff or we are trying to take any reading, our line of sight is exactly horizontal. So when these distances are very less, then we get exact reading, because that leveling staff which is being placed is placed on the ground surface, and we are considering that this ground surface is exactly horizontal. Okay, there doesn't comes much error until we are doing this exercise for short distances. But when these distance exceed around 15 km or 20 km for which the surveying work is being done, so what happens, there occurs an error due to the curvature of the earth surface, because the exact level line which we are considering is parallel to the earth surface, that is curved in nature, and our line of sight through which we are looking is exactly horizontal. So if the earth surface starts falling, going downwards, so the means whatever will be the reading you will be looking, that reading will be higher than what should be exactly we are seeing. Okay, means we are seeing higher reading. Okay, because that staff, if we are doing it with the help of leveling staff, then it will be placed at a bottom surface due to the curved surface of the earth. Okay, so for that it has been defined around 15 to 20 km. If that distance is greater than that, then for those cases we need to consider the effect of the curvature of earth as well as the refraction also, because what happens when the distances are very high, then due to the change in the density of the atmosphere, the air, the wind that is there, what happens, the refraction of the light wave surface through which we are looking also happens, and for that also we need to account for. Basically all the leveling exercise which we are doing and which we are giving the results are for short survey only, for short scale maps only, for short distances only, not for very large distances. But when this survey activity is being done, then we need to account for those errors also due to curvature and refraction of the earth's surface. Okay, and these errors are also defined by how much amount the error occurs for a distance of 1 km. That we will discuss as we will be moving with this slides. Okay, so what is level surface? It is that curved surface at which the means acceleration due to gravity, the gravitational force that is acting is exactly perpendicular to that level surface. Okay, surface of still water is generally considered as truly level surface. The sea water you can see, or any still water that is there, the surface which it is forming is considered to be an exactly level surface, and it is considered parallel to the mean spheroidal surface of the earth, which we are considering as the level surface. Okay, next comes level line. Level line is any line that is drawn on a level surface. Okay, means level surface is a complete surface, a three-dimensional surface, and any particular point for which we are talking about, so our level line is that particular line which is drawn on a level surface, and hence it is normal to the means acceleration, gravitational force that is acting at a point. Okay, whenever the term plumb line you see, you can even see plumb line also I have shown. Plumb line is that in which direction the gravitational force will be acting. Okay, that is basically shown by plumb line, the direction from the level surface of the earth in which the acceleration due to gravity or the gravitational force will be pulling the things. Okay, so this is the level surface you can see for which level line has been shown. That line on the level surface gives us a level line. And what is horizontal line? You can see on any surface at any particular point if we are talking about, so horizontal line will not be parallel to the earth surface, means it will not run exactly in the similar way as the level surface, but horizontal line will be a straight line. So as we move forward, you can see the difference in values start occurring. Okay, so we need to account for these errors which may occur due to the curvature of the earth surface when the distance is very large. Okay, so now comes the horizontal plane. As we discussed about level surface and level plane, level line, same will be for horizontal surface or plane and horizontal line. What is horizontal plane? It is through a point that is tangential to the level surface, as I have already shown you here. At any point where we are trying to locate any plane or any line, so the line that will be parallel to the, or you can say exactly tangential to the that level surface or level line will be the horizontal surface or horizontal line. If we are talking about horizontal line, then it should be parallel to the level line at that particular point. And if we are talking about horizontal surface, then it should be with reference to which point we are talking about the horizontal surface, means at that particular station where our instrument is located, from where we are starting to conduct the survey, with reference to that point we are talking about the horizontal plane or horizontal line. So it should be tangential to that particular point on the earth surface. Okay, so that particular point from where we are considering the level surface or level line, that horizontal surface or horizontal plane which we are talking about should be tangential to that particular surface point. Okay, and it is also perpendicular to the plumb line, because as the level line is perpendicular, it is same way, just it is tangential. Okay, it is not running along the earth surface, but it is exactly tangential in the form of a straight line. Then comes horizontal line. As I have already told you, what is horizontal line? It is a straight line that is tangential to the level line. Okay, same definition as was for horizontal surface, it was with respect to the level surface, and when we are talking horizontal line, it is with reference to the level line. Okay, or you can say it is with reference to the horizontal line is any line that is drawn on the horizontal surface. Okay, so it is a straight line that is tangential to the level line that we have drawn along the earth's curvature at particular point from where we have mounted our instrument, and from where we are conducting the survey. From that point, the exactly tangential line to the level line will be the horizontal line, and it will also be perpendicular to the plumb line, or you can say perpendicular to the gravitational force that is acting. Okay, and what is vertical line? Exactly perpendicular to horizontal line. Okay, or you can say exactly normal to the level line, because what is horizontal line? Horizontal line at any particular point, if you can see in the figure, it is tangential to the level line. So even here you can see, if this is the level line that has been shown, then it is perfectly horizontal to the tangential to the level line, and on that level line, whenever you will be drawing the perpendicular to that, here it has been shown. Okay, this is the horizontal line, and if in this horizontal line you will be drawing a perpendicular, then this line will be the vertical line. Okay, it is a line normal to the level line at a point. Okay, if this is the normal line, then this will be the, at any particular point, the vertical line will be perpendicular to this level line. Here it will be perpendicular. At centermost point, if you are trying to draw it, then it will be straight vertical. Okay, so vertical line is not always vertical. By vertical line we mean that the earth surface which is running exactly perpendicular to the level line that is drawn there. Okay, and if we are talking about horizontal line, same concept is valid for horizontal line also. That horizontal line is also not perfectly horizontal. You can see, by horizontal line we are just talking about that it should be tangential to the earth surface. Okay, so this is the concept. Next comes datum. Datum, what is datum? It is any reference line. Okay, datum means the lowest most point with reference to which we are considering all the elevations. Generally, the datum which is considered is with reference to the mean sea level. Okay, if we are talking if we generally say that the elevation of a particular point on the ground surface is 100 meter, it means it has got an elevation of 100 meter which is with reference to the mean sea level. Okay, the reference point with reference to which we report the elevation of various stations is with reference to the mean sea level. So what is datum? It is any surface to which elevations are basically referred, or with reference to which the elevations are denoted. Okay, it has also been written that the mean sea level affords a convenient datum world over. All over the world, the mean sea level is generally considered as a convenient datum point, and all the elevations are commonly given as so much above or below the sea level. So sea level is considered as the benchmark whose RL is 0, reduced level is 0, and with reference to that point all the elevations on the earth's surface are generally given. Okay, but it has been clearly written that it is often more convenient to assume some other datum. Why it is required? Because when at any particular site you are conducting the survey, so it is not at all required that firstly for any point you determine the reduced level with reference to the mean sea level, that what is the benchmark station's RL. Okay, it is not at all. You can consider, based upon your experience or based upon your requirement, you can consider any other datum, or you can even consider that particular point as datum and consider its elevation as 0, and with reference to that point you can compute the elevation of all the other points in the ground. okay, so that you can get an idea that which points are at a reduced level, means below the ground surface, or you can say below with reference to that assumed datum that we have considered, and which points are lying above that assumed datum. So it is often more convenient for us to assume the datum based on our experience at any particular position, and we can compute the RL of all the other stations with reference to that particular benchmark station. Okay. Next in this series comes elevation. What is elevation? Elevation is the difference in height with reference to that datum point. Okay, so elevation of a point on or near the surface of Earth is the vertical distance above or below an arbitrarily assumed level surface or datum. Okay, the arbitrarily assumed level surface means it is not necessary that the datum has been considered as the mean sea level if we have assumed any other based upon our experience depending upon the conditions that are prevailing in the site. So elevation of any other point for which we are computing, it is with reference to that arbitrarily assumed point or datum, the vertical difference in elevation. Okay, whether it is lying at a certain height or at a certain depth with respect to that particular datum point that we have considered, the vertical difference in height determines the elevation. Okay, so difference in elevation between 2 points is the vertical distance between those two level surfaces. Okay, means if we are taking point A and if we are taking point B, so the level surface that is passing through station A and the level surface that is passing through station B, the vertical difference in elevation between those 2 points will give us the actual difference in height or difference in elevation between those 2 stations. Okay, so this is the concept that goes through which we can determine. Next comes vertical angle. Vertical angle, as you all know, with reference to a certain station or a level surface, if we need to compute the vertical angle between certain other points. Suppose we have installed our instrument we have made our instrument set up at a particular point, and from that point we are willing to compute the height of a building. Okay, so to compute the height of a building, firstly what we will do, where we have installed our instrument, from that we will give a horizontal line of sight parallel to the level surface. Once we have made that horizontal line of sight, then what we will do, with reference to that we will fix suppose the survey work, this survey work is being done with the help of theodolite, so we will fix our instrument at this very point, and now what we will do, we will try to sight the topmost part of the building. Okay, now what we are trying to do, we are trying to sight the topmost part of the building, the topmost edge of the building. Now we can compute the difference in elevation between these 2 stations. This horizontal station, which we sighted the horizontal point on the level surface, and then the topmost part of the building, and we will get the difference in elevation between these 2 stations using the theodolite, as it has got graduations in it which exactly measures by how much amount the theodolite has been rotated in vertical plane. Once we get that angle, this angle which we are talking about is the vertical angle when it is in this plane. Okay, and horizontal angle is basically the horizontal, and by horizontal angle we mean we have installed, suppose there is one tree and other tree on the ground surface, so the angle difference which we measure between these 2 trees, or you can say there is one building and one tree, from one building to other tree, what is the difference in angle? So these angles which we are measuring are in the horizontal plane and are reported as horizontal angle, and vertical angles are those angles that generally help us to depict the vertical difference in elevation between various stations. Okay, next comes mean sea level, with reference to which we generally predict the average, means the elevation of all the other stations, or you can consider the mean sea level is that particular point which is generally considered as datum. And for a particular country or at particular place, how we can determine the mean sea level is that it is the average height of the sea for all stages of the tides. Okay, whatever are the stages of tides that may prevail throughout the year, the average height of the sea for all these seasons, and it is generally not taken for a very short span of time but for a period of 19 years. For 19 years this data is recorded based on various tide stages for continuously year, for complete year, and then for this data is taken for a long period of 19 years, and the average that is computed for all these 19 years, the elevation which generally comes out is considered as a datum at an elevation of 0. Okay, so that is basically the datum, and with reference to that point we report the elevation of all the other stations which we compute at a general level. Okay, next is benchmark. See, benchmark is that station whose RL is known to us or the point which we considered as the base with reference to which we will be calculating the RL of all the other stations. Okay, anywhere I am saying RL, it means that we are talking about reduced level, that is the elevation of that particular station with reference to the datum point or with reference to the benchmark station. Okay, so what is happening, benchmark is basically a permanent point, okay, that we have considered that yes, this is a solid point, and all the other stations elevation we are going to compute with reference to this benchmark station. So this is the permanent point whose elevation is already known to us, or we consider any arbitrary value that is considered as fixed for this particular station, and all the other stations are solved with reference to this particular station. Okay, it is used as a starting point for leveling, or may also be used as a closing point to impose a check. Why it can be used to impose a check? As I have already told you, suppose we are conducting a case of closed leveling. Okay, so we started from this point, and after completing the entire survey activity we again reach the same point. So if we are reaching the same point, then the difference in height or the RL that we have considered initially should remain same for this particular station. If after doing all the computations, all backsighting and foresighting, if you predict the value of this particular benchmark station, the RL value, if there is a very large difference, but since this value we generally consider as fixed, okay, this value we have considered as fixed, either it will be known to us that yes, this is the benchmark for this particular station, means this is the RL for benchmark of this particular station, or we may assume an arbitrary value. So whenever we have conducted the entire survey for that particular location and we reach back to the same point, its RL should remain same from where we have started, and we can get to impose a check. Whatever will be the difference, we can get an idea that how much error we have conducted and in which direction, okay, whether it is less or we have exceeded the value or whatever is happening. And sometimes it also happens that we don't need to conduct a case of close leveling, but we start from a particular point and finish at any other point, and that point elevation is also known to us, or you can say that point that is also the second benchmark for us. Okay, so we can also conduct the survey, and when we reach to the final point, the second benchmark point whose elevation is known to us, we can check that yes, whether the value which we have computed is correct or not, whether we are obtaining the same value which we assumed or not. If not, it means the survey activity needs to be conducted once again, or there is a slight error which we need to adjust. Next is differential leveling, that we were initially talking about. What is differential leveling? It is basically the computing of difference in elevation between various stations. Okay, in differential leveling what basically happens, when we have to compute the difference in elevation between various stations, and they may not be just the case of 2 to 3 stations, there may be many stations. Okay, the basic technique that we talk about is a differential leveling only, and how we can get that and what are the equipments that are basically required for this, we will discuss in the upcoming slide after this. Okay, so firstly what we do in this, what we do is, when suppose there are 2 stations A, or you can consider a case of 3 stations, though there may be many stations, okay, and I will show you how this activity can be extended for various other stations. Okay, suppose there is a particular station A whose reduced level is already known to us, and this we have considered benchmark, and B is another station whose elevation we are requiring to compute, okay, or it is required to us. So what we do, since we have to do the differential leveling between point A and B, so we mount our instrument at a suitable place in such a way so that both the stations should be exactly visible to us, okay, or they should not be very much far away from that point from where we have installed our instrument. We can take any firm ground, any surface that we think is leveled, or yes, it is okay to fix the tripod. We can install our tripod, we can fix our auto level on that particular instrument, and then what we can do, we can sight initial station whose that we considered as benchmark and whose elevation was known to us. When we sight that particular instrument, a person from our crew member holds the leveling staff at that point, and the reading that you read on the leveling staff with the help of the telescope in the auto level, when you look through the eyepiece, the reading which you look at that particular point, okay, if initial benchmark for that station was known to us, as I already told you initially, that suppose it is 50 meter, okay, so 50 meter plus the difference in height, 50 meter is the ground surface plus the difference in height from bottom to the top where you are seeing, okay, that telescope has got crosshair attached to it. Through that crosshair, that horizontal crosshair that will be at the center, through that point the reading that you will be sighting on the leveling staff will be the reading or the height of that particular station, that benchmark station with reference to the ground surface. Its ground surface elevation is known to us, leveling staff reading is known to us, so we will get to know that the instrument has been sighted at which height, or what is the height at which we are looking through our telescope. Okay, the height of instrument where it has been installed in the middle station will be known to us. Once we know, we can rotate our instrument and try to sight B wherever it is located. Okay, we can rotate this in the vertical plane and try to sight that particular point B whose elevation is not known to us. Now that same person who was holding the leveling staff at point A will move to point B and hold the same staff exactly vertical. And now when he is holding it vertical, we will try to sight that leveling staff which is held at station B, and we will try to take the reading. Now when we take the reading on that leveling staff, so what we do, we know the height of instrument. Now from this height of instrument, whatever is the reading that has been taken on the leveling staff at unknown station B, we will just try to decrease that value. Because height of instrument is known to us, with reference to that we just need to decrease that reading that we are seeing on unknown station B. Okay, and once we decrease that value, we will get the reduced level of that particular station B also. Okay, so this is how we can compute the elevation of various stations in differential leveling technique. Okay, and now what we do, if we have to conduct this activity further, okay, suppose we need to do it for station C. If that station C is visible from this particular point only, then it is well and good. We have already established the height of instrument. You just need to place the leveling staff at that point and you need to take sight of it. This will be the foresight reading, and when you take that reading, whatever is the reading, you can just decrease that to reach to the ground surface of that particular point. Okay, but if that particular point cannot be sighted, suppose we are trying to go further apart. Okay, so what we will do, we will try to install our instrument in such a way at a particular station so that at least from that point station B should be visible. Any one station whose RL is known to us should be visible from that particular setup of the instrument. Wherever you are trying to mount your instrument, any one station should be visible. And once it is visible, you take backside to that, because that elevation is also known to you now. You have already computed. Take backside, add the backside reading to the RL of the ground surface for that particular station B. You will get the height of instrument for the second setup that you have installed. And now you can take the reading for any third station which you can see from that point. And now once you take that, height of instrument will be known to you. Just decrease that foresight reading and you will get the final ground surface level. Okay, so this is the activity and it is used to conduct, and that those stations which we are changing continuously and we are mounting our instrument at different stations, those are known as turning points. Okay, those turning points are temporary points. As soon as we move our instrument, we change their positions. Okay, because why turning points are required? Because if the surveying activity or if the differential leveling has to be done for a long ground surface, then we will have to change the position of our instrument and move it forward. Okay, this I have tried to show you here with the help of figure also. See, you can see there was initial station A. This was the benchmark station. Okay, and its elevation, or you can say RL with reference to the mean sea level, is given to us as 240 meter. Okay, so what is happening, 240 meter is the RL of this station firstly, and you need to compute the elevation of all the other stations, say TP1, TP2 and B. What we will do now, see, firstly we will mount our instrument at any point in between these two stations. Now what we will do, we will try to read, this is the telescope that has been placed and we will look through. This is the horizontal line of sight through which we are looking. And here is the leveling staff that has been placed by one of our crew member, and the reading which we read on this leveling staff was 2.024 meter. Okay, this reading will be displayed on this leveling staff and it will be 2.024 meter. This was the ground surface elevation of 240 meter. We took the reading of 2.024. It means this horizontal line of sight that is existing at this point, its height with reference to the ground surface here is 240 plus 2.024. This will be 240, 2.024. Now what is required? From this line of sight, if we try to look at any other point, we can directly get the elevation of that particular station. Suppose we want the elevation of this station TP1. Now what we do? This leveling staff will be moved from this place to this place, and now the reading that is read on this leveling staff is only 1.420. Okay, so once the reading of 1.420 is read, this elevation was known to us as 242.024. From this 242.024, we will try to decrease this value of 1.420 to come to this point. Okay, so 242.024 minus 1.420 will give us the value of 240.504. Okay, so you can easily see, once we did this exercise, we got the height of instrument and decreased this 4-side reading to get this turning point 1 elevation. Why it is known as turning point? Because this point is not fixed, and at this point we will have to change the position of our instrument. Okay, now what is happening? Because after this point we will have to change the position of our instrument, therefore it is known as turning point. Now if from this station you can directly sight this station TP2, then well and good. Suppose this distance is very high, so what we need to do, because this activity will have to conduct it for a long ground surface, so you will now remove your instrument from here and make a setup anywhere in between here. Okay, this point is not fixed and it is not necessary that it should be exactly in between, it can be anywhere. You just place it. What you need to do now is, wherever you have placed your instrument, you need to sight back to this station, because this station's RL is now known to us as 240.504. Once this RL is known to us, from there wherever the instrument is mounted, we will make a backside reading, and as soon as we make a backside reading, we will place the leveling staff here, and the reading that is read out here is 1.986 meter, suppose. Okay, so on this, if 1.986 meter has been read out as the leveling staff reading, this ground surface was at an elevation of 240.504, we will just add this value of 1.986. Okay, once we add this, it is 240.604. On 240.604, once we add this value of 1.986, we get this height of instrument as 242.590. Why it is necessary? For each and every setup, it is necessary to establish the height of the instrument so that you can compute the difference in elevation once you place the instrument at, once you place the leveling staff at any other station of unknown elevation. Its elevation was known to us, so therefore the back side was taken to this. Now its elevation is known. 242.590 is the height of instrument. Now you will place the leveling staff at station TP2. Here the reading, suppose that you get is 2.100. So 242.590 was this, and this is 2.100. So you will have to decrease this value of 2.100 to come to this point TP2. So you can see 242.590 minus 2.100 will give you a reading of 240.490. Once again, if you can't sight this point, that is the final point B, so what you do, you mount your instrument here, take the backside reading, this is coming 1.722, 240.490 was the ground surface elevation for turning point 2. You can just add this value to reach to this level. From ground surface, if you want to reach to this level, you will have to add this reading. This is 1.722. When you add this, you get to an elevation of 242.212, and finally when from this instrument you are taking 4-side reading to the next station B, this reading will be 1.010. 242.212 minus 1.010 will give you a value of 241.20. Okay, so you can see, based on these RLs that have been located, it is very easy for us to locate the ground surface. See, this ground surface has been located. You can see station turning point 1 is above A because it is 240 meter and it is 240.604. TP2 is below this because it is 240.604 and it is 240.490, and this B is again above this. Okay, so we can get to know the profile of the ground surface that is existing if we can easily compute the elevation of various other stations. And you can see, likewise, if we know the concept of how we can change the turning points, we can compute the elevation of all the other stations as we move forward. Okay, so this is the case of differential leveling, and this is how the differential leveling is basically done to compute the difference in elevation of various stations. Okay, there are two methods basically for conducting differential leveling. First one is height of instrument method that I just told you, and the second one is rise and fall method. This I have told you only about differential leveling and how it is done. We will discuss these two methods in complete detail. For that I have kept reserved the next session, because it is very important. Once we have done all this survey work, we have calculated this reading. Okay, we need to interpret this data. How we can interpret this data and compute the RL of all the other elevations? How we can make a check that yes, whether the elevations of all the other stations that we have computed using this height of instrument or rise and fall method are correct or not. So for these, certain arithmetic checks are also there, so that you can confirm that yes, all the calculation work has been done correctly and you haven't missed out on any data. Okay, so this is why it is very much required to interpret these methods, which we will be discussing in the next session. Okay, so for now we will now discuss about the instruments that are required to make this leveling. Okay, this was the differential leveling that we have discussed. Now the instruments that are required. Okay, see, what is level? It is an instrument, as I have already told you, that is used to compute the difference in elevation between two different points. Okay, if two different points are there, two different station points are there, so this level device can be used to get the difference in elevation between those two stations. How we can do this is, see, the instrument that is there, what are its components? Firstly, I will tell you. See, firstly you can see there is an objective lens. This is the lens through which you will be looking. At the back side, there back portion of the auto level or the level, whichever it is, there is an eyepiece focus. This is the eyepiece through which you will be looking with the help of your eye. Okay, with one eye closed you will try to look through this. Okay, this is the lens through which you will be looking, and here is the focusing knob. Okay, this is the objective lens focus. If you are not getting the clear sight, based upon it depends upon the distance at which the staff is there. If the staff is very much further apart, then you will have to focus it so that you can see those readings. If it is very close, then you would have to focus it that way. Okay, so to focus the instrument, the telescope, the focusing knob is given, which you can rotate either clockwise or anti-clockwise, where you see the clear image of the leveling staff. This staff, the telescope, when you look through, it has got crosshairs, 3 crosshairs and 1 vertical crosshair, means 3 horizontal hairs and 1 vertical crosshair. Okay, so that vertical hair and central crosshair, wherever they intersect, that give us the exact reading. Okay, so central here you need to look at for the horizontal. Now what happens? Firstly, at the bottom you can see there are 3 leveling screws. These leveling screws are required because whenever you are mounting your instrument on the tripod, it should not be inclined, it should be exactly parallel to the level surface. How it can happen? You will have to level it with the help of screws. These screws, either both of them needs to be rotated outwards or both of them needs to be rotated inwards. Okay, because when you do this, it has got a bubble also in it. Okay, when you are doing this, you will see that there is a bubble which is located, through which you can get to know. Here they have even shown circular level bubble, which is located here. It is a circular, means level, which has got a fluid inside it, maybe in the form of spirit, and at the center of it there is a small air bubble. Okay, you will have to balance this when that air bubble comes at exact center of this circular level. Okay, it means your instrument is perfectly leveled. To level that, either you will have to rotate both the screws. There are 3 screws basically. Firstly, you will try to balance it with the help of 2 adjacent screws to which the level is placed per parallel. You will either rotate both the screws outwards or both the screws inward. You will see a movement in the bubble. Based on the position in which it is going, you will try to level it. Once it is leveled, you will rotate your instrument by 90 degree and you will try to balance it with the help of third. If it gets unbalanced, then you will try to balance it with the help of third screw that is left. Okay, and whenever your instrument is bubbled, means now leveled, you can see how much time you will rotate the instrument, it will always remain leveled. Okay, it means now it is parallel to the level surface of Earth. Okay, this is the function of leveling screws. Now there is also one horizontal motion screw. Its use, this is also very important. Once you have sighted your instrument with the help of this telescope, okay, the leveling staff, suppose it has been placed at any unknown station and you have exactly sighted that. Now what happens? Suppose that leveling staff is just left or just right of the point which you have sighted. Then with the help of horizontal motion screw, when the position of the instrument even has been fixed exactly, when you rotate this screw, then this level will be either rotating towards left or rotating towards right, depending upon the position in which you are rotating this screw. Okay, this instrument auto level will be either going towards left or it may be going towards right. Okay, so this is the main objective of horizontal motion screw, and it helps us to adjust the instrument for small level adjustment. because if you will be opening the screws and try to balance it against that where I can sight the instrument, then its adjustment may go wrong. So for small adjustment, this horizontal motion screw can be used. Okay, and at the top it has got a sight, rifle sight. What happens, because sometimes it is very difficult if the screw is located very far, means if the leveling staff is located further apart, so it is very difficult to directly get the reading with the help of telescope, because it gives you the enlarged view. So firstly what we do, to get the line of sight in which direction this level has to be placed, we look through the sight, okay, that rifle sight placed at exact top, so that we can get an idea that yes, our instrument has been mounted exactly in the direction of that leveling staff. And now we will try to balance it with the help of that telescope. Now we will try to look through that telescope to get the exact reading. Okay, this sight that at the top is generally used so that you can get the direction in which you need to place your auto level. Now types of levels. The purpose all the levels serve generally are the same. All the levels are generally used to compute the difference in elevation. Okay, there are three types of that are basically used. I will tell you one by one. First one is the dumpy level that I have shown with the help of green color at the top. You can see it has basically, it is a old model. All three levels basically serve the same purpose. In automatic level that I will tell you afterwards, in the third one, it has got certain means compensating mechanism also. What is its purpose, I will tell you. It is bit more important as compared to these dumpy level and tilting level. In dumpy level also, same telescope, same eyepiece, you can focus with the help of leveling screws, you can level the instrument. Through sight you can look at it, okay, and you can establish the point and you can take the readings. Okay, everything is same. With the help of leveling staff, you will get to see the reading on the leveling staff and you can report it and write it down. But the eyepiece of this dumpy level is inverted. Through this, when you look at, you get the inverted reading, and it has got 4 leveling screws. Instead of 3 leveling screws, it has got 4 leveling screws, because it was initially used where firstly we balanced with the help of 2 alternate screws, and then we rotated the equipment by 90 degree, and then again used to balance it with the help of 3 other alternate leveling screws. Okay. Next was the case of and the next thing in this is dumpy level. When we look through this, the reading that we get is inverted reading with the help of the eyepiece. Okay, so for that, most of the time the inverted leveling staff is also used, in which the readings are written in reverse order and we get the correct reading from that when we read it out. Okay, next is the tilting level. In tilting level, what happens, this level that is there, it can rotate about the horizontal axis, means it can go up and down. Once you are trying to sight the instrument just to focus it, after that you can fix it with the help of knob. But once you are rotating the instrument so as to sight a particular leveling staff, thereafter it can even rotate along the horizontal axis in the vertical direction, so that you can sight a same leveling staff at different reading. If you want to take the top and bottom reading of a particular building or any other requirement you need to serve, then that reading can be taken with the help of tilting level. So one more mechanism that is provided is it can even rotate in the about the horizontal axis in vertical direction. But obviously when you are making your instrument level, you need to fix the position of the instrument with reference to the horizontal line of sight that you are taking. Next is auto level. See, this is basically used now. It also serves the same purpose. Everything is same. It is very simple instrument. You can see a top sight is provided, rifle sight through which you can look. This is the means telescope and objective lens through which you will be looking. At the back it is an eyepiece. This is the focusing knob through which you can focus the focus of your camera, or you can say this telescope. This is the slow moving screw, and at the bottom 3 leveling screws are provided. The most important mechanism that is within this is this. I will tell you, if you can see this, the inside of this auto level I have tried to show. What happens inside this, 2 fixed prisms and 1 pendulum prism is there. This as a whole forms a part of a compensator mechanism. What basically happens, suppose when you are looking through a particular eyepiece, so what happens, your eyesight, suppose it is not perfectly horizontal, okay, or you have placed your instrument, that instrument is not perfectly horizontal, maybe inclined upwards or downwards. So what happens when you try to look through this, even if your line of sight is not perfectly horizontal, there is a prism through which the ray of light through which you are looking, it means reflects through it, gets to a pendulum prism, it has been placed at such an angle that after reflecting through it, it will go to this pendulum prism, and after going through this pendulum prism, it will strike the next fixed prism, which will always deviate the ray, means the reflection, that final reflection which will happen through the second fixed prism will be always horizontal. Okay, that fixed prism and the pendulum prism has been placed in such a way so that after striking the final fixed prism, the ray of light that goes is always horizontal. So even if your line of sight is not perfectly horizontal, then also it adjusts for it. Those for small tilts that are occurring in the instrument, this auto level can adjust for it and give you the correct readings. Okay, so this is one mechanism that it serves basically, and this complete setup of these two fixed prisms and a pendulum prism that is provided inside it is known as the compensator mechanism. Rest all the readings we can read with the help of telescope. By adjusting the focus of the telescope, we will read them through the screws, means through the vertical crosshair and the horizontal crosshair where they intersect. Okay, that point through that point, whichever will be the reading we will see, that will be the final reading for that auto level. Next are the instruments that we need to discuss about. Okay, differential leveling means instruments, these were the levels, and next, apart from levels, the second thing that is required is leveling staff. Okay, one leveling staff may be direct. Okay, it may be in this form. All the leveling staffs that you will see will be colored in alternate red and black color. Why these colors are used? So that you can take the readings from very further distance apart. Same concept is used for ranging rods also. They are in alternate red and white color because these colors are very much different from each other, and they can be sighted even from a very long distance, and these markings can be taken exactly, so that even if a certain person who is taking the reading has got certain, you can say, color difference, he is not able to understand, or he has got certain error in color perception, then also he can take the reading very much exactly. Okay, that's why they are provided in alternate red and black color. I will tell you in the next upcoming slide. I have given it to leveling staff. If the leveling staff is of this type, then how you can take the readings in it. Okay, that I have donated 2 slides in which we will try to see that how with the help of leveling staff, where the crosshairs are intersecting, how we can read the reading in the leveling staff. Okay, and next to that is placed the tripod. What is tripod? It has got 3 legs. It is basically made of wood, or you can say aluminium or invar, and it may be used to mount the instrument. The auto level or the level that we are using, that level is mounted over this instrument. Its legs of the tripod can be fixed on the ground. Okay, it has got its legs that can be fixed on the ground, and once it is inserted in the ground, it takes a stable position, and now the instrument can be fixed over the top of the tripod, and thereafter we can make its line of sight horizontal by balancing the leveling screws. Okay, so this is for tripod. For leveling staff, I already told you, these leveling staffs come in different form. They may be graduated in fits, or the readings in the leveling staff may be even in meters. Okay, they are made from wood, they may be made from aluminium. The wooden leveling staff that are there may be a coating may be provided in the form of polymer coating. They may be aluminium leveling staffs. They may be folding. Okay, as you can see in the plane table survey, which we will be discussing next. Folding means folding tripods or leveling staffs are there, so that you can, not leveling staffs, even tripods for them are folded. Okay, so that you can carry them with yourself. And leveling staffs also can be folded, and most of the leveling staffs, as I told you, when they come in 1 meter, 2 meter or 4 meter total graduations, so it is not that leveling staff which will be using of 4 meter will be 4 meter long. It goes inside itself. Okay, it goes inside itself. There is a button through which you can get it inside, and the total length of that leveling staff will always be 1 meter only. And once it is required that the distance which you are sighting is even greater than 1 meter, up till 2 meter, if you think, you can open it till 2 meter. If you are doing the survey in any excavation where you need it of very large height, then it can be opened up till maximum height of 4 meter. Okay, so they basically come up to a height of 4 meter. Okay, next, tripods we have already discussed, and ground plates are also used to locate the stations. Okay, where we are doing the survey, and even if we are doing centering of our tripod. Okay, if we are trying to do our centering of our tripod with the help of plumb bob, which we will be discussing. Then to locate the centermost point where the instrument has been sighted, a plate has been placed there so that we can get an idea to locate that particular station or the centermost point of that particular station, with respect to which we are trying to calculate the reduced level of all the other stations. Next, you can see here differential leveling instruments that we were talking about, how we can sight the leveling rod. Okay, it is in this form. Two stadia hairs are there, top stadia hair, bottom stadia hair, and a central hair is there. Okay, three horizontal crosshairs as I told you, and this is the vertical hair. Why it is called as crosshair? Because a cross is formed. This is horizontal, this is vertical, both of them cross each other to form a crosshair. Okay, now this is the leveling staff. In leveling staff, the one thing that you need to remember, see, whenever you get these readings like this 17, 18, 19 or whatever are the readings written, every reading that is written on the top of E, okay, this 18 depicts that this 18 is the reading for this particular mark that they have shown as 18 decimeter or 180 centimeter. Okay, this is not 18 meter, this is basically 1.8 meter, always remember, because it is up till maximum distance of 4 meter. Okay, so it will be 1.7, 1.8, this is 1.7 reading and this is 1.8 meter reading. In between this, every means that this white color that you are seeing, it is of 0.1 meter, means if this is 1.7, so when you will be going up by this white mark, so it will reach 1.71, then 1.72 for red, 1.73 again for white, 1.74 for red, and then 1.75 for this white. Okay, so at the bottom of this E, the reading will be 1.75, and similarly when you go up 1.76, 1.77, 1.78, 1.79, and finally 1.80. So 1.8 this is written is at the top. Okay, so wherever it is written, just the bottom reading will be 1.8. okay, it is either at the start of E or at the end of E. This I will show you in the next slide, where you can get to know. Okay, first thing, but the core concept that you need to remember while holding the leveling rod, this is also very important, that whenever you are holding the leveling rod or the leveling staff which we are talking about, which has got these graduations, it should always be held perfectly vertical, because if it is inclined forward or if it is inclined backwards, then the reading which you will be getting through this leveling staff will be wrong. Okay, if it is inclined backward or forward, then the reading which you will be reading will be higher than the actual reading. Okay, if it is held exactly vertical, suppose the reading which you have to read is 1.5 when you are making the horizontal line of sight, but if you make it inclined, okay, if it is tilting outwards, so what will happen, the reading that you will read will be not the exactly vertical leveling staff, but it will be an inclined leveling staff, and the reading on that which you will be able to sight will be greater than this 1.5 meter. Okay, it may be 1.6 or 1.7, whether it is orienting or leaning forward or it is leaning backward, the reading on the leveling staff which you will get will be higher than the actual value, and this reading will not at all be correct. Okay, so you always need to hold the leveling staff perfectly vertical and you need to look forward to it. Okay, this here I have shown. See, even if you have if you are holding it forward, so what is happening, you can see this horizontal line of sight that we are making with the instrument that we have mounted here. If we try to look at this reading, then the reading which will be getting on this forward leaning staff will be this D2 with reference to this ground level, and you can obviously see this D2 is greater than D1. Why it is greater than D1? Because this is, if you try to make it a Pythagoras theorem, a right angle triangle, then this is the hypotenuse of this particular triangle, and D1 is this right angle, means perpendicular length between these two line of sides. Okay, so hypotenuse is always greater than any other side, whether it is base or it is perpendicular. So this D2 length will be greater than D1, and this reading which we will be getting, it means the point which we are talking about, we will feel that that point is located downwards. Okay, why it is downward? Because we are getting higher reading, and when we will try to deduct that reading to find the means elevation of that unknown station, so we will decrease higher value, and when we decrease higher value, we reach to a lower point. Okay, so these errors we need to try to eliminate. For that we should have a basic idea, and even you can see if that rod is leaning backward, then also you will get this reading which will be even greater than D1. So whether it is leaning forward or backward, if it is not perfectly vertical with reference to the ground surface, then the reading on the leveling staff which you will be getting will be a faulty reading that will be higher than the actual reading. Here you can see how we can read the leveling staff. Okay, see, initially as I told you, see, if we are talking about this 1.8, this if 118 is written here, it means 1.8 is exactly below this. You don't need to look at here. Okay, this will be 1.85, this will be 1.80, exactly below that. 1.7 is here, so this reading you will see will be 1.700 meter, or you can say 1700 mm. Similarly, this will be 1.650, or you can say 1650 mm. At the ends of E, you get the reading in 5. This is 1.65, this is 1.7, exactly below 17. This exactly below 16 would have been 1.600. This is 1.700. This will be 1.800. Now, if it has been asked to calculate certain reading, suppose our crosshair was here, how we will get this reading? We know that this is 1.8. Okay, we know that this is 1.8. So what will be this? This will be 1.81, and this will be 1.82. 1.81 at the bottom of this red mark, and 1.82 at the top of this red mark. And now based upon the how much in between it is lying, they have just split it. Okay, or you can report if it is exactly at the top, you can get this elevation as 1.820 meter. Okay, in similar way we can get the values. Okay, whichever point we are talking about, that point can be easily reported. Suppose we are talking about this reading, so we know 1.8 was here, this is 1.81, 1.82, 1.83, 1.84, and the bottom of this E, upper E, it will be 1.85. So 1.85 is this, and the top of this red mark is 1.86, and the site which we have made is exactly in between of 1.85 and 1.86. So you can report that reading as 1.855 meter. Okay, so this is how basically all the calculations are done and the reading is taken in the leveling staff. So this should be known to you, that how we can read the readings on the leveling staff and how we can report these readings in actual.